What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. Now, on the audio version, y'all might not be able to see on the screen, but for the video, you know, we got a guest on the screen. You know how we do. It's Lindsay. It's Lindsay. Lindsay, how is everything with you?
Things are good, despite what we can say with all the things going around us politically. But I will say that sports and books have given me a break from the madness, I guess you could say, as in I try to tune out the rest of that. And pretty much all I'm looking at is sports and reading is kind of what ties in my time nowadays.
That's fair. That's fair. Sports, maybe not reading unless you count manga, which I did slip on, but definitely sports has been captivating my attention. TV shows and movies as well, but definitely sports. So I'm glad we both here.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because ladies and gentlemen, just clarification, she's my Cavs fan. I think she got Cavs on actually as we
I
speak right now.
do.
Yeah. And I talked with her very briefly, and I deemed her as a certified Cavs fan. I mean, anybody who said they're a Cavs fan after Braun gone, you should think they're a Cavs fan. But like I talked with her, she a Cleveland fan, ladies and gentlemen. Like
Damn.
she know her sports a little bit across the board, across the board. We'll talk a little bit about it. Um, but Lindsay, like your Cavs, we're not gonna him and haul too long. Your Cavs is looking all right now. Like talk to me a little bit. Talk. Matter of fact, we're gonna get you on the soapbox, right? We're gonna get you on the soapbox. Give us about 30 seconds worth of reasoning why your Cavs, who are rated number one in the league,
Yes,
at
in the
least
league.
in the East, at least in the East. You know what I'm saying?
We're definitely number one in the East, and we're what point plus up 700 points to beat against Boston out of all teams that are in the top 10 right now.
I mean, y'all got a decent little resume this year. So give us 30 seconds on why your team should win it all this season.
The Cavs should win it all because we have Donovan Mitchell, and our coach knows how to use the backcourt, and he knows how to make sure that Donovan shines when he's needed. But he also knows when to rest him so that he is ready for the playoffs and he's not injured anytime soon. And he's definitely built a great reform with the team where they can all get along and they actually like each other. And I think that too has been an encouraging strength for them to want to push out no matter what, how the game is going, to make sure that we win and stay number top and get a go through the finals and get a championship.
Respect. Okay. That was one well timed because I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of people who come onto the show don't really do a good job at timing. They really don't. I appreciate you. Two, okay. You might have all right. Your coaching sound decent. Y'all sound like y'all got a good squad.
Well,
Um,
our squad won the All-Star weekend with our coach and his squad in the new format they had, which I didn't fully agree with the new format,
yeah,
but
yeah. They're
they
not.
did he did win with it. So
Yeah, all right. That's okay. So tell me this then. Tell me this then, because I kind of have a little gripe with the
okay.
Cavs, and I've said this before. I'm not gonna go on the soapbox. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I've said this before. I don't believe you guys win the championship, mainly because I don't believe in Donovan Mitchell as your star, like as your one option, the guy who's going to lead you to a team or to a championship. I don't think he's that guy. If he's your two, your number two, not your shooting guard, your number two, you looking nice. Number one, shaky. And that's what he is for you guys. I like Darius Garland. I've told people if Evan Mobley's your number one, okay, cool, we have something. But that's how I view the squad. Again, good team, four all-star caliber players on the squad. We've seen teams like that do well in the regular season, have expectations going into the playoffs, and then not quite getting to that finals, a la the Atlanta Hawks, right? When they had four all-stars a couple years ago. Actually, it was a decade ago. Dang, that was over a
Yeah,
decade
that was
ago.
a while
Damn.
ago.
Woo! Showing age right there. But like, what's your thoughts on that? On what I just said? Do you believe in Donovan Mitchell being the star for your Cavs? And then, do you see your team going further than that Hawks team did, which I think they got to the second round, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, we did get the second round last year, but I don't think with our past coach that the team was gelled enough to give the support to Donovan. So I hear you on maybe Donovan shouldn't be our first, but also I feel that I don't think he strives every game to be the first. I think sometimes he lets, if Evan is on point, he lets Evan. If he lets GG, lead it, he lets him lead it. And I think just that overall support of the team that, and the coach knows where everybody's strengths are. I definitely love that we have like a 2-man defense at times, and he'll play, and Evan can shoot three, but also he can defend and he can get buckets, off the rim. And then you have, oh shoot, here I go with missing names, or other big guy with the I always just say Jared Allen, J. So Ja, we have Ja too, which Ja will have will have his moments too. And I think they can feed off of each other. So I just think that the coach looks bigger at using everyone's strengths. And he doesn't have to make Donovan the star every game. He actually has been sitting out Donovan the most. I think Donovan has been sitting out between both his teams that he's been on, especially this season. Because I think if anything, they know the final goal is to be in the finals and is to win. And I think they are showing a statement that, yes, you have very talented players, but everybody's kind of in the NBA for a reason. And if people deliver, you should give them that chance to prove that they're delivering. And when they're not, you get traded. We traded too, and we got the player from the Hawk, from the Hawks. Last 2 days ago.
Maybe deliver means a championship, because Luka did just get traded, so everything's in flux right now. Nobody feels safe. Nobody feels safe.
Definitely, and I'm surprised, as I'm a Cavs fan, but I understand LeBron is in Lakers, and they were struggling, and who knew him and Luka could actually play pretty well. So that is on the horizon also.
Yeah. Now, using Braun, right? Do you envision him going to your Cavs? Because I will say this: a couple years ago, it was when Dame was still on Portland, actually, and I was telling Dame I wanted him to stay because for his legacy, if he's able to win a championship with Portland, which I thought was actually doable if he stayed on the squad. All right, cool, maybe. I mean, and again, that was a very uphill battle, but there's a world where that could have happened. Got you. And in that same time frame, I was thinking that Braun might actually go to the Cavs because they were a small forward away. They did get DeAndre Hunter, who ironically we actually could have drafted with the 4th pick. Instead, we traded for Anthony Davis, who is now on the Mavs team. So do you think there's a world where Braun leaves Luka and my Lakers and goes to your Cavs for a swan song?
Not this year. And I don't know. I mean, I think tomorrow's game they play, he's supposed to hit his 50,000, points and be the number one. I think that, one, I feel he went out to the Lakers because of being in LA and the camaraderie of that, because he did get so big and he wants to diversify his, plate like he has a lot of his friends, celebrity friends too. But could he? I don't know if I actually see him finishing next year or after this year. So to me, it would be more so, when is he really thinking, okay, I'm kind of want to finish this out? Would he might come back to the Cavs? But also, in having our hopes, when we win, because I'm going to speak it into existence, when we win the finals and the championship, would Cleveland take them back? Because honestly, there's already little talks. There's even been memes and talks of, if we had the back 3 players with Kyrie and LeBron, could they do the same thing with how Donovan and DG with the supporting cast that they had in 2016? Like there's all these little combinations that come up, because yes, we only have 2016 to go off of winning a championship, but we rode the back off of LeBron. And I just think that this year is showing that he was exhausted. I mean, in some of the memes and some of the things he was having to deal with, not saying his squad was horrible. We did come back, still only team to come back from a 3-1 record in the finals.
Stick by that finals. I just want to say because we keep bringing it up and I keep holding it in because like only because you're a Cavs fan.
It's Cleveland history here, and you want
It's an asterisk by it. That's all I'm saying.
okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, a win is a win. I mean, when the quarter ends, fourth quarter 0-0, whoever has the best score is going to win that game.
I mean, all I'm saying is if we don't suspend Draymond, this don't happen. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's it. That's you know what I'm saying. But y'all won them. Y'all won.
To me, it shows how the NBA changed so much because Draymond in the 90s would have been perfect. He wouldn't have fouled out. His roughness, actually, I don't mind, as in someone telling my age, who like, the roughness that came with how the 90s with basketball before the NBA made their protect the players, I guess you could say, rules in a sense.
It would have been interesting how Draymond did back in the 90s. I think personality wise he could have fit, but yeah, that would have been interesting. That definitely would have been interesting. I was more so talking about when they gave him both Draymond and Braun a technical and then upgraded Draymond's only to a flagrant, even though Draymond was the victim in the scenario. But we will talk about that another
okay
day.
Well, back to will LeBron come?
Well, no, actually, you said something, and it was very interesting. You said when you win the finals. You said when.
Yes.
So that begs my question, and I mean, let me just do this real quick.
Okay.
Which one of these teams are you most scared of? Because yeah, y'all at the top, and I did have to check. Y'all at the top of the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Y'all ahead of the OKC Thunder by a game right now, I believe. But like, you got the Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, Pistons looking all right. Heat, they don't got Jimmy no more, but they could be scary. Magic, they did just lose Jalen Suggs though. Like, are there any teams up here? Maybe the Hawks too. Are there any teams that scare you from getting to the championship?
So, still the Celtics. Our Celtics games are always so damn close. They're always nail biters. I mean, everyone is still talking about how they were up the first quarter by 22 points and still lost though. But still, they're still the past championships. They are still been in the finals more times right now than we have. So they have the experience. So there's still competition. I kind of agree with Stephen A. Smith. I don't think the Knicks are competition anymore. And the Bucks, it depends because I went to the game in December when we played and they only had their top man, what's his face? The one you just mentioned who was at Portland.
Dame.
Dame was out the game and we blew them by 30 points. And they had, the number one rated person they wanted to see in the NBA All-Star. Yeah. So it's like that was a fun game to see. Just because
I mean, it's a fun game though. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't tell the whole story, but I get you though. I get you.
People ride so hard on Cleveland off of one game. So you could say that it's just one game, but we get criticized every single one game. As soon as Cleveland does bad, because if we had lost to the Celtics, everyone, they're not finals coming. They're off of one game, which we had already won one game, and now we're 2-2 with the Celtics. So you say that it was just one game, but everybody rides the Cavs off of just one game, and it can just say they'll take this.
I mean, okay, so I hear that. I hear that.
Oh, and lastly, I will say the Heat, because the Heat have given us some trouble in the past during the regular season.
But see, it's a different Heat team, though. See, they don't have Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan, like I call him, Jimmy Butler, ladies and gentlemen. Like he played just like his daddy.
But I'm just saying, if I think of what games we've had this season, and we have lost 10 games, and I think of the 10 games that we've lost, where a lot of like 3 or 4 of those we only lost by 1 or 2 points, which really sucked, but still we lost.
Slight flex. Like we barely lost 10 of these games. Man.
It's the reality of it, but we still lost. So those are kind of my top teams that I feel will give us some trouble. And, and I guess we'll see with the top, whoever's the last one, number 10, we'll play them for first round. I definitely see us getting to the finals. Now, OKC gives us a big run for our money because I see them getting to the finals. But there's a meme out there now how the NBA might screw that over. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see a Cavs OKC. They want to see a Laker and Boston game.
I was actually gonna ask you about that because I think Boston versus LA, you got Luca, you got, they just played the Mavs. I just talked about this on my show. Like,
I get you,
I,
but when
I
we played
do think
OKC both times, it was one of the highest rated games of watched in the NBA.
it's right. That's regular season though. Like, I don't know.
You said that
On paper, it sound cool. On paper, it does. But when you also think of the
it
history of
garnered views, though. It garnered the views, and the NBA cares about the views.
well, it does. 'Cause I was gonna say, like, which gets more views, Shea versus Donovan Mitchell, or Luca and Braun on the Lakers versus JT and JB on the Celtics. The Celtics can go back to back, or LeBron could win his fifth ring. Luca could win his first, get his redemption. It breeds the Lakers Celtics rivalry like that. That breeds more viewership. Hell, even the Nuggets brings in more viewership just because you get Jokic back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I think one is too early for OKC, and two, like I said, I just don't believe in Donovan Mitchell as y'all star to get y'all over the hump, because you're gonna need a star to get you over the hump, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna need one, and I'm fighting an uphill battle versus the Celtics. I think y'all lose, hold on. Let me make sure. Um, yeah, I think y'all lose to the Celtics. I personally think, even though it could be a close one, because again, Evan Mobley, X Factor, I do believe y'all could lose to the Knicks. That would be I would want to lean the Knicks, but there's a.
But yes, things get
I feel you.
get to the finals. I mean,
I do hear you. I do hear you. I do hear you. The Bucks, I would favor. Um,
all right.
so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Hawks. They always in this position of being in the play-in, and they always surprise a squad. And I would favor you guys in that matchup, but I can't hold you. I almost want to expect a sweep, but I can see that going 6 to 7 games too, because the Hawks are actually okay. Like, they're actually okay. I expect y'all to win that matchup though. I'd be very disappointed if y'all lost.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah,
And I misheard you. I thought you said Knicks. You would see us get beat. Hawks. I definitely think we could go 7 rounds. But I'm gonna tell you too. I feel like the NBA pushes for 7 games no matter what. No matter what conference they want the viewership. They they want, it brings money.
it does. I think it depends on the
For
matchup.
a long time. I felt that since really LeBron's been in the game. I feel like they've been pushing to try to get everything to 7 games so that they can continuously get the money.
I think it depends on the matchups and the timing. Like, for example, if we see Shea versus Ant, like OKC versus the Wolves in the first round, I think that will go potentially 7 games, just because that's a rivalry they're trying to package up. So it's like I could see something like that, but not every matchup. Like, if y'all got, who's a team? Like, if y'all got put up against, the Pistons, respectfully, I wouldn't, or no, the Bulls. That's better, because the Pistons, they on the come up, but the Bulls, they're not putting that for no 7. Nobody's going. That should not go 7 games. So I don't think every series. Yeah,
It shouldn't, but
it just depends. But yeah, I'd be very disappointed if that one went 7 games. But
now, I understand why you're saying that cooler or more of a people want to see with the Lakers and the Boston Celtics. You got Lakers with their 2 star players, and then you got the past champions. But you have first and first if it's OKC and Cavs. So
I
even if
hear
it's from smaller markets, it is one versus, you have the best of the East and the best of the West going for the finals. I still think they can sell it.
I
So I
hear
just had that last point in there.
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
until I remember the Jazz team when they were number one and people were saying nobody respected them. So again, and that's
Oh,
another team that
people respect us. When we win the finals, they still won't respect us. They didn't want to respect us coming out of the 2016 finals winning.
I I'm because you sound extremely confident. I halfway want to make a wager with you somehow. So nothing financial, nothing financial. It's something fun. It's something fun. I gotta think. Let's think about it. Let's think about it. We'll
Okay.
come back. But I did want your thoughts on this too, right? 'Cause we talked about Cleveland and we were talking about the WNBA. Y'all see the sweatshirt, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all see the sweatshirt. And you were telling me about what's the team name? The Rockers? The Rockers? That's what we did
It's
with?
talked about they're trying to call it the Cleveland Rockers based off of the owner of our place is Rocket Mortgage, which is Dan Gilbert, owner of that. So I think it's a play off of Rocket Mortgage Rockers because it's a brand new team. They could kind of, but again, naming teams, I haven't always been crazy because they picked the Guardians for our baseball team. I hate that name. I'd rather us stay with the Indians or just call it the Cleveland baseball team. I do not like the Guardians. So I'm not 100% with the Rockers, but Cleveland is a sports team. So if we do bring the Rockers, because we've had a was the indoor football team too at one point, the junior league football team. So and now we have the junior league what's it called, NBA team. The I forgot what they're called,
G,
but
G League?
yeah, we're the G League team, and that's been pulling out. I've heard a lot of good, attendance for games, and
G
some of
League
those
games are
players have
actually
been
not
brought
bad.
in. Hmm?
G League games are actually not bad. And believe it or not, too, you might be able to do like the little halftime, half court or like free throw shooting or whatever. Like they
Exactly.
did one time. Like it's actually not bad.
Oh, it's not. And they picked one of our older buildings that they've renovated inside, so it's but kept the classic look of it. So it's actually a pretty ass basketball game to go to. It's like you wouldn't expect it. Like the decor of the building is not your typical stadium kind of like look. So since they've renovated old building, but also some of the G League has been playing with the Cavs too. So they've had that bridge going on also.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
So
I think with the Rockers, even though I'm not crazy about it, I definitely think with the whole shaping and the I call it rebirth of the interest with women in basketball, especially how it came from college, that being in Cleveland, being a sports team, with the right kind of publication, the right people in the back office, depending on who we got on the team,
mhm.
it could do a lot in Cleveland. And I would go to a game. I keep saying I want to go to a G League game when I'm home. I haven't made it to one yet because it's just this year they started, and my time was kind of tied up the last few times I was home. But I would definitely still, go just to support.
Well, it's the intention. That's what matters. So that'll be kind of cool if it does happen 2028, right? That's right around the
Yeah.
corner. Here's my thing though. Here's my thing.
Hmm.
I'm not really vibing with rockers. Like
Okay.
that's just me. And I guess you too.
Yeah.
But you also said that you don't like the Guardians, which I feel like I have two names in mind.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with the one I feel like kind of resembles the Guardians. It was the Defenders. Cleveland Defenders. I'm thinking y'all could be like a scrappy team, basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, yay, nay.
For the women's team,
Yeah, for the women's team. For the women's team.
I'm not really feeling defenders.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. How about the Cleveland Queens?
I like that.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Queens. I think women overall are queens in general. So, but and as we always see, it's going to be more of us black, beautiful queens that are going to be in the league. So, might as well be calling us queens on our team. I see it now. I can see the Cleveland right under the queen. The on the sweatshirt. The crown and stuff. I could see that. Yeah, I can see queens.
See, all right. So we got Queens, which again on when I wrote it was first, but I wanted to see what Defenders sounded like because you said Guardians you didn't rock with, so I just wanted to get that one out the way.
Yeah, no, I feel that fits more for like a hockey team. I don't know if I feel like that's for a basketball team. Like I
Mm.
wouldn't want our Cleveland defenders like as for if they replace the Cavs name. Like I wouldn't want that either. Like
I
defenders.
kinda like the defenders. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like those were my top two choices, but like defenders, I was alright with too. Now, like I like Queens more, but yeah, defenders, I was cool with, bro. I also had to make sure. I was like, I don't know why the Liberty didn't make their name the Queens. Like it
Yeah,
that they missed the mark, I guess. Like, and then I guess the New York King. Well, no, yeah, no, yeah, that wouldn't have gone well to Sacramento stole theirs. It is what it
yeah.
is.
But I want to say there was a past team, someone on the football used to be Ravens before Baltimore was Ravens. I forgot which team that was, but someone was telling me Ravens wasn't a totally a new name for a football team. I just can't remember which team. I want to say it was somewhere south. I'm feeling like Texas, somewhere and around, but I could be wrong. I know definitely Ravens has been passed around for team names.
Yeah.
But,
See, I got to do some research on that because I'm more of a basketball head. So
and we're definitely talking about that too, but I am a Clevelander, so I
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I got to do my research on that. I don't know. Like you schooling me
yeah,
right?
I stick in, for my Browns, I'm heavily into football and I'm when it's NBA season, I'm heavily into NBA, I'm into my Cavs. Cuz
Oh,
and that's back to everybody's like, "Well, aren't you going to be a Lakers fan cuz LeBron or aren't you going to be a Heat fan cuz LeBron is there?" I said, "I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a Cleveland fan." So whoever's in Cleveland, that is what I'm going to put my money, my betting, my investment in. Not you tearing up. Not the Hercules.
no, it's Hercules. But it's just so nice to hear somebody say they're a Cleveland or a fan of the team and not because of Braun. Like I appreciate that. Like it's nice to hear. Like I'm a Kobe fan, but I'm
Okay.
also a Laker fan. So it's
Yeah.
like it's nice to hear. Like I do get that people are player fans, but like it's nice to see some
Oh,
loyalty.
I do have my favorite players. Like when we had our back in the early 2000s and we were going against Boston and we had what they had the KG Ray Allen. I love Ray Allen since he was on Milwaukee Bucks. I had that jersey. I love Ray Allen. I loved him in the movies. I love Ray Allen. But I hated him when he played us against the Cavs. So, I mean, I was an Allen Iverson fan, So I have my players too. LeBron has never made it. So I appreciate when he
To
gets
be clear,
City.
was he what were you cool with him when he first got there, like the first stint, or you saying he wasn't really you weren't really rocking with him then too?
I've never been rocking with LeBron. I appreciate what he was doing for the city. I
Even
guess
when he took y'all
I'm only 2 years older. Wait, I'm only 2 years older than LeBron, and being from the city, we were in some of the same groups growing up. Even though he was in Akron, his sights of being in basketball, they knew early. He had his mother's boyfriend who was getting him in the talks, and I kind of dated a lot of basketball players. So he was around. Like I knew of LeBron. So I was there for all the papers. This is back when we actually looked at papers, for all our playing dealings. I was reading all the articles. My dad, my brother, my grandfathers, they were into it. Uncles, I got a lot of first cousins, second cousins are boys. I was embraced in it. And then when he got old enough to go to clubs, he was at the clubs with me when I would be in town from college. Like, and it was kind of annoying. And I told this to everyone. Now I'm about to actually make national news with talking about this. But like
oh,
him and his makeshift crew, people to protect him when nobody was sweating him, was on my last nerve. So my personal interactions kind of also blocked kind of liking him, overall in character as a player. I will always respect him. I understand there's the back and forth between him and Michael, but if I was a pick, I'm gonna pick Michael all day. Even though he did the shot on our Cavs to knock us out the game that time, I'm still gonna go with Michael
that's
as a player.
yeah. So you rock with Michael over Braun. Braun was your what y'all drafted Braun. He's from you know what I'm saying. Like he took y'all to the final. That's tough. Like I mean
But in history. Yes, he took us to the final after he already had won some at the Heat. Mind you, he did go to
No,
Connecticut
no,
to
no,
let
no,
us.
no, no, no. No, no, I'm talking about the first stint though.
I
When
know,
y'all played the
but
Spurs. When y'all played the
he,
Spurs.
yes, but he
Like
was
that.
mad that he couldn't get any further and that
Mm.
he couldn't win a championship. He took his butt to Connecticut and told us in Connecticut that he was leaving. He couldn't, I'm a Cleveland girl. It's kind of like how New Yorkers say, you come and you tell me on my territory. You couldn't even tell me in my face in Cleveland that you were leaving.
I get that. I get that. Like I didn't like the decision. I understood.
It was an 8-hour show of what he was going to do. Then he did
Yeah.
it in Connecticut. And I will tell you this. I know Dan was not putting the right people, the back office was not putting the right people around him. I know he was going to leave. We knew it. But the way he did it, we couldn't respect it. We appreciate that he did come back after he got his, I guess, satisfaction of winning some championships. But it's still like, but he literally got one and left. So it was kind of just like, you literally put 8 years on our team. You went, was third round of conferences and a finals round and dipped. But you just want to come back one round, get it. Like, to me, that's not really loyalty to our team. You gave the Heat longer than us. Shoot, he's with the Lakers longer than he's been after he won the championship.
I mean, I didn't expect him to lose.
Back to, I know his stats are very much to be compared against Michael. Is he the GOAT? He's not the GOAT in my book. I'm gonna go with Michael in all of that.
I'm curious. Just real quick.
Yep.
Where do you have him ranked on your all-time like GOAT conversation?
He's in my top. He's in the top 5.
Okay.
He's in the top 5 because, so if I was having like a starting team, he would be in my starting 5. He wouldn't be on the bench. He would be my starting 5 because he does have a lot of heart with the game. I can't take that away from him, and over like his family, like his wife, that's my girl. Like, she is a true Ohioan. Like, I love his wife. Okay. I love
everything about LeBron except LeBron.
Yep.
Like, that is hilarious. I appreciate the consistency, at least. I appreciate the consistency. That is hilarious. Not as respectable though. So I do think people put. And I'm not trying to get like again. I understand why people put measure number 2. I'm not going to try to argue y'all that y'all are wrong. I personally have Mike, Kobe, Timmy, like Tim Duncan, in order because that's like that's 5-1, like that's 6-0. That's 5-2. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's a lot right there, bro.
Yeah.
And there's offense and defense to boot with all 3 of those players. So I mean, MVPs, Finals MVPs, like it's just tough. But I do understand why people put Braun there. And again, it is partly because of what he did for Cleveland, going to the finals in 07. Even though I will say, and this is, I've talked about this before, but that, or at least depending on when this drops, if it's before April, y'all are here coming up then a wonderful episode about how Braun did not carry that squad the way y'all think he did. That team was actually he had a solid team. It just wasn't the name.
So too. But I don't think we would have had the solid team if he hadn't left though. I think that did wake up our owner and the back office, that because I don't think it was this whole, I'm gonna write a letter and I'm gonna come back. It was definitely a lot of talks. I definitely appreciate his management, as my homie that's why his name dropped that quick, that's marrying Adele.
Marrying Adele?
Yeah. The management crew that's over LeBron, that went to school with LeBron, and he's made a real big name for him. He's engaged to Adele now. I see his face. What's the guy?
Oh my God, Rich Paul?
Yes. Like, I definitely feel Rich was hearing LeBron and talking to our back office like that. Him coming back was not just an overnight choice, but I don't think Dan would have heard LeBron and what his needs were for that team to be the right kind of squad if LeBron hadn't left.
Okay. Okay. Alright.
So I definitely think that squad was in the making. It was, I mean, we got Kyrie before LeBron came, and Kyrie, right,
Listening to them, yeah.
right, like they fully just couldn't fully carry it. They needed that extra person, and I think LeBron started seeing that as the Heat wasn't doing as good, And I also think, they had the younger kids at the time, and I definitely think Savannah was in his ear. Like, maybe let's go back home for a little bit. And so I think that was, a coming of a time period that was supposed to happen. But again, he does. He reps Ohio State. LeBron reps Ohio State. He reps Akron. He's got the school there that's got the partnership with Akron U. Like, he's giving back to the city, but I don't know for him to see as he fully doesn't have the full respect I feel of Cleveland. Like the league doesn't. I'm just going to be real. Because he still sees it's a small market. And I think he always would. So it was more he felt he had a debt. He paid that debt off, and then he dipped. And you fully can't be mad at it because the time he was coming around, it was about the single player. It was about the 1-2 people carrying a team. Which that's why I'm hoping between OKC and us that coaches can make these overall teams. And it's not so much about one player or two players having all these stats that carry a team to make them a winner.
I mean, I will say this now. To kind of go, I guess, back to the finals, right? Before we close up. OKC is kind of led by Shea. Like that man just had another 50-point burger or 50 burger
He did.
recently. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to say team. I might actually think Boston over you guys because again, we've seen them do it. We have question marks about y'all, so I think like that's what this year y'all have to beat Boston. Because if not, I'm wondering about from a confidence perspective, do y'all mentally think, oh, yeah, now we can win? Because if y'all don't, I think mentally you guys lead. Like somebody's going to look to lead at that point after the season if y'all lose, I would think. Like maybe run it back.
Possibly. And I think after any season, there's always a possibility of someone to leave. I mean, they're already talking about, what's the tall one from DC? He's
Alex Starr? Oh,
Kevin Durant.
Oh, KD, yeah. Oh,
KD. We're already, talking about KD leaving again, after the summer. So it's kind of like there's always a possibility, and I'm not going to knock it. We needed that win against Boston for our confidence. There is still something about the confidence there. But I also think that we have had this season so much of great resound to show us what we can do, even though you go to the playoffs at 0-0 at that point, that I don't necessarily think someone would leave after this year. Now, I think if we can't recreate it next year, I definitely think someone could leave. I could see someone wanting some trades and everything else. I think I look at it kind of, to bring a little bit of football back to the Browns. What's his face? All our defense. He wants to leave now. He saw us go to the playoffs.
Oh, Myles Garrett?
Yes, Myles Garrett. But now this past year, we were terrible, and it was kind of like now he wants to go. I think that could be a follow-up with the Cavs. I feel that, even if we don't get as far, I still think we're going to get to the finals and win. I'm not saying that. I just don't think anyone would necessarily want to leave right after this year. After all this momentum and things. Because I think they think, yeah, we got there, but we haven't been a team that's been in the finals to have the experience, But now that we do, we can really ride off of that in the next year and do even better,
I get that. Like, I think if because y'all brought over DeAndre Hunter, and I felt like that was the move saying, okay, this is the small forward that we're going to use and try to win a championship. I'm not saying he's going to like take you over the hump, but he's that starting small forward. He's that missing piece that y'all need. Cause
he definitely was.
On the Hawks, he was a near 20-point per game scorer. Yeah. So.
Oh, he definitely was. And Stephen A. Smith to this day says, we got to steal. Like, he was like, I don't know how Cleveland's back office worked that shit out. Pretty much. Yeah. If he could cuss, that's what he would have said. But I agree. Like, what we had to trade, like, not saying we didn't like the players we had. They were good on the team, too. But he was what we needed. And again, just to show how we sat out Donovan Mitchell this past game and he carried us, you
Mhm.
know, I think that is the balance that sometimes we need. Because if we think back to that year, 2015, 2016, there were times Kyrie carried it for LeBron. LeBron, I call it when he's not in the game. His head's not there. Something in social media and the media is going on, and LeBron wasn't full. Kyrie carried it. So I think between DG, Evan Mobley, and Hunter, like people can give Donovan that support. And I
Mm.
think Donovan will be smart enough to know if I can win the game, I'll step back.
Okay. Okay.
And that's what he does.
I do agree with that. However, I will say this. A lot of times when I bet money on FanDuel and I'm betting on Donovan Mitchell, I,
Hmm.
I just put him down for 20. And I'm like, he'll sell sometimes. And I can't have him sell in the playoffs. Like he cannot do that.
Yeah.
Because as much as we want to rag on Braun, right? I can harp about the 3-1 comeback all day. He still did play. Him and Kyrie boogied. I can't knock them. So he's gonna have to if we're gonna say that Braun was the star and Kyrie was Batman, Donovan Mitchell gonna have to play like a star. And
Yeah.
yes, somebody gonna have to rise to the level of a Batman, which I do think it could be DG. I would love if it was Evan Mobley, because
Yeah.
that tells me then that Evan Mobley might be able to make another jump and surpass Donovan Mitchell, and maybe the team stays intact because they see a future in place. But if we all can't do that, I don't know. Some people might want to consider leaving, but I gotta I gotta see y'all do it until I believe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lindsay. Find we're gonna have to try to find like a we're gonna have to try to find a bet before the playoffs start.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like proving people wrong, and I like putting the right energy out there. So I'm gonna put the energy out. Trust me, we got a whole lot of damn fans that I see online all the damn time. Our games have been selling out before we even had this great, run, and they know they got the city behind them.
okay.
And I think that I feel that we can do more. But true, I'll give my hats off to you. Like true sports fans, I respect where y'all coming from. Y'all don't have to have the backing, of the, optimism that, us Cavs, true Cavs fans have. So we're just gonna have to deliver.
That's fair. That's fair. And I'm very surprised you actually did not say Cavs versus Lakers, because there's a chance that y'all could beat us. Because then y'all have the interior advantage. So and we're not good at guarding the guards. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you have a good guard on your team, they're
Yeah.
probably gonna spank ours. So
Well, I don't
what's the
see
world where y'all?
Lakers getting past OKC. That's why it's not in my.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I mean, uh, I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Like we don't have the interior presence for them, but
Because
once
I
they
mean, no matter that the NBA wants to see the Lakers in Boston, I don't think the Lakers are going to make it to the final. So I understand what the NBA wants to see. I don't think it's going to happen though. So them even making it, sorry, I know that's your team, but I
like
don't see it.
as a Laker fan, I gotta say there is a world where we do win, or at least get to the finals. If you're saying, if I'm not saying we're the favorites though to do it, so I'm gonna be real about it. I'm gonna be honest. Point in time, I don't think
It's to do
even
it
though
this year.
even though we are like number two in the rankings, point in time, I'm just saying it is it might be an uphill battle. So, but um,
And I think you
yeah,
guys think it's going to be an uphill battle for us, and it could be an uphill. I think if anything at this point, I think the only team that it might not be uphill battle is Boston. Real talk. Because they are the past champions. And when I say it's an uphill battle, you have the people having this confidence that they're going to do it again. But
yeah,
I also see that they are number two in the league right now. So people are saying it might not be as easy as it was for them, how it was last year till now.
it might not be, but then also too, yeah, you got more eyes on you. A lot of people have the target, or you have a target on your back, so
Yeah.
you got to bring it all the time. And sometimes the Celtics don't bring it. That could cost them. They do shoot themselves in the foot sometimes.
Yep.
But like we said about the Cavs, they do got to prove it, because back to back does sound nice. But Lindsay, no, I ain't gonna lie to you. I greatly appreciate this, ladies and gentlemen. We even said we were only going to talk for no more than like 30 minutes. Clearly, we went a little longer than 30. We apologize, but it was a good conversation. So Lindsay. I definitely appreciate you. Hopefully, you come back onto the show.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
Well,
definitely
thanks for
reach out.
having me. I definitely come back.
Oh, definitely, definitely. We gotta get you because you sound like you're a WNBA fan as well too, especially when you said old school hoops. So I got some names that I'll probably throw out for the WNBA draft, which comes up in April, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, I think it is around April.
yeah, April 14th. So we'll try to get you on board for that one as well too. So, but do you have anything you want to say before we close up shop?
No, again, thanks for having me on. I definitely will come back. I definitely try to embrace myself in being a true Cleveland fan. So I know a little bit about everything. Everything is sent to my DMs. People know I'm a Cleveland. So I appreciate you knowing me as a friend. Know that I'm a Cleveland fan to have me on. So thanks again.
Oh yeah, anytime. Like I said, when I actually saw you were a Cavs fan, I was like, interesting, because I don't see anything really Braun related up here. So let's explore that a little bit. So I'm glad we had a good little banter.
Yeah, no, I grew up with it. I grew up around a lot of males. My father, and my brother are big sports fans, so we have thick skin. I had to grow up with it, and it hasn't gone anywhere since.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as y'all have heard, it's a wonderful episode. Like we said, we greatly appreciate Lindsay for coming on to the show. Y'all definitely hear her again sometime. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. Hope you all have a good one. Take care.